we need to see it for what it is. And what it is that he knows that you have a thing for trying to, or for wanting to be something to be perfect. And that perfectionism translates sometimes into going through so much, and you would say, oh no, you're with me, right? But I wouldn't know what it feels like to be you in that way, where you would feel someone else's pain in that way. So I refuse to kind of like take that going forward, because if you were feeling how I was feeling, you would be aware that it's too much, it's enough, you cannot keep doing it, and therefore you would stop, right? And because of you not stopping, it also solidifies that in me, that you don't really feel as pain as we feel it. You sense it in a sense of, okay, I feel them, they're going through pain, I see it, but because of your high vibrationalness, it doesn't translate equally in that way, because you're too big. I mean, my pain is probably like an itch to you, right? This is how I see it. And if I were to be honest and be of my valuing of myself in that way, I will look at it and then be like, what about me? I don't want to hear that God feels my pain. I know that whatever he's saying is true as it is. He's not going to translate it. I will never know. It's something that I will never know how that feels like for you. I will never know that. I will never know how the billions of beings or trillions of beings in the universe feel like for you. I'll never understand that. Okay, because I can never be you. I am not you, and I can never be you. So there's no way I will ever believe that you do feel the way I feel, unless I see in the way you react. And so far, the way you react to my pain is like, you got the strength, you got the power. It's very much dismissive, as in like, don't worry about it, we'll get through it, don't worry about it, it's gonna be okay. That's how I see it. And I don't see that, oh yeah, I see you in pain, let me stop this shit. It's like, I know you're in pain, but continue, right? So it can only tell me that you don't appreciate the pain that I go through. It's nothing to you, because it really isn't as much as I would think you would feel it. You would think, oh, they're going through pain, but it's not too bad. They can handle it. I gave them enough power. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you're going to make us physical beings, that is human beings in some way, with this kind of emotions and all of that, the part about us not acknowledging the part about our human side, where it's not just about the pain that I'm going through, but also about the acknowledgement of the pain that I'm going through, both from myself, right, and from God himself, because I can't ask everybody else to acknowledge my pain, but from God himself to acknowledge the pain that I'm going through in equal measure, as in like how I see it, not how you feel like, oh, you got more power, you can continue, but in how I see it. Because I feel like the most important thing could be that you would think that the way you see me is the best way to see it, but at the same time on my end I'm like, but you don't understand. You can never be fully human in that way. You can only experience humanity through us. But for you to be in a full, you can never be us in that way. We can never be you in that way. We can only be extension of you, and you can only be us being an extension of you. So the part about us being the same, it's not true. And I've always said that there's no such a thing as you're a God and you experience. No, we are different. You are God. We may be called God, some of us. Some of us are humans or human, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, your consciousness and our consciousness is not going to be similar in that way. That is, you see things in a broader scale. We see things in a very personal way of where our standpoint is. That is, I am here now, sitting on this bed, recording this and going through turmoil, not turmoil, but going through the curses that you told me through your cut system, through many dreams, through many things, that this thing will be finished by then. It's over 6 months. I'm still going through this. You said it's going to take about 6 months. It's over 6 months. I'm going for my 8th month. Yeah, it was supposed to be ending in May. June is going to be finished soon. And then I'm going to go through my 8 months. And then I'm going to get another excuse there as well, of some kind. Because every month there's an excuse. Every month there's a delay. And that shit doesn't matter, you know. It doesn't matter to Father. It doesn't matter to the universe. What matters is the mission. I get that. But I'm just saying, you cannot expect me to move forward in existence understanding you in a way you say there is this way. I'm understanding you and experiencing you this way. And that is, I cannot trust you. I cannot trust what you say to me, because you've proved to me time and time and again that you change your mind. And it's okay, just because of your God, you're going to change your mind. And that's fine. But what I'm trying to say is, you cannot expect us to be in that kind of faith with you in that way if you keep showing us the opposite of what our faith actually produces in you. That is, we can have faith, all kinds of faith in you, right? But blindly having faith has proved to me time and time again that you're going to have faith. He's going to keep disappointing you. And as much as you can, the time for you to excuse your failure to meet your promises, you cannot keep blaming the devil for it. It looks bad. You can't keep saying, oh, the Karmics are doing it. The devil did this. The devil did that. It just looks bad. It just makes it look like maybe the devil does have an equal power to you. Or perhaps even more. Because all he has to do is be as stupid as he is and continue to do the stupidity. Right? But that stupidity, as I've always said, these people are intelligently stupid. I will say that. I will keep saying that until I'm proved otherwise. They kept going and going and going and kept changing and changing and changing. And here we are. They changed again. And now I'm getting a card again today that says postponements, delays. It doesn't matter what word you use. A delay is a delay. A change in the process is a change in the process. A change in the plan is a change in the plan. How you put it isn't like, oh, the Karmics have done it again. That just looks bad. If you come back to me again, which I know you're going to, next time with another, oh, the Karmics have done it again. I'm like, of course. We're not doing this. They're doing this. This is not your project. This is their project. They are riding or leading this project, this mission, the way they want to lead it. I don't care how you may want to make it look or sound like. The truth is, I cannot go out there in the physical world and tell people to have blind faith in God in that way, because I'm seeing it for myself, and I'm not going to lie, not for you, nor for the devil, either one of you. I'm not going to lie either way. I'm going to tell people the truth, that God will sweep everything under the rug of, divine timing. Oh, the Karmics did it. And it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. You cannot tell me that should be okay. We cannot move to 4D, 5D, 6D, whatever it is that you want us to move to. Keeping that kind of standard. I'm wondering, what are we going to see where we're going? Again, if I'm not going to accept mediocre with this planet, and I cannot even, it's even worse, I cannot accept any kind of mediocre with the universe as well. I refuse. I refuse to accept any kind of mediocre with the universe as well. You know I don't like playing double standards. You know that I am not the kind of person who will accept, what do you call that? You know, I hate bullshitting. This is why I try to catch it in myself every now and then. And we can't use double standards. We can't say, oh, this world is behaving so poorly and they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And they should be more. They should be vibrating higher and whatnot. And then I turn around and I ask the universe, and the universe is like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to, wing it. And just because I'm the universe, you're going to have to accept it for what it is, because I'm the universe. I'm God. No, Father, no. You taught me better. And you're not doing that way. You're not doing that. You cannot teach me one way and you do the other. The whole thing of do as I say, don't do as I do. How is that high vibrational? That's not high vibrational at all. You cannot keep doing this. And I'm not talking to just Father, God the Creator. I'm talking to Mother, God the Architect, and every other God, the Destroyer, and all the other gods in there. All my fathers. I'm talking to all of you. You cannot keep this shit out. You cannot teach me one way and expect me to be in that way when you are busy doing it a different way and calling it, oh, it's just a project. Oh, it's just a... I just had something and I'm going to say it. I see why some of these programs would start imagining themselves as being above you. I see why some of these programs or these worlds that you created feel like you have a limitation, or feel like they're above you, like they pretend or behave as if like they're above you. As much as you say that you are not like that. I get that, and no one is forcing you not to be anything but what you are. But I'm asking, you cannot expect higher of us if you're not going to be higher of yourself. That's why these beings believe that they're higher than you, because of they feel like you don't expect that much in you. That is, you don't behave in a higher way, the way you should. And it's not to say the way they do it and how it looks from them is exactly how it should be done. I'm just saying you're going to need to sit down and understand that and define that for yourself. As God, as in like what high vibration. If you're going to ask us to vibrate higher, elevate them and be better, you're going to have to keep pushing as well. We all have to keep pushing above this. I refuse to accept any more mediocre kind of excuses of why this mission keeps going on and on and on and on and on. Why aren't we getting to the end of it? And I understand and I remember that it's going to be even worse. And this is where I have an issue. This is where I said to Mother, you said Father's going to do something beautiful for me, something wonderful and whatnot. But and I said it again, and I was like, Mother, be mindful. The way Father's doing these things up until this point, he is going to make you look like a liar, because I'm still waiting for whatever it is that you say Father has done something wonderful. And when I remember there is a future of myself where I'm still saying this, and it's like a far future where I am still complaining about things not coming into fruition. I keep seeing the kind of things coming into fruition and I'm like, yeah, right. There's nothing coming into fruition. I'm still going through the torments. I'm still here. I haven't received any of the things that you've promised to give me. The divine masculine is always delayed. Still, the Karmics are still doing their Karmic shit. Nothing has really changed to the point where I can be like, okay, I see it. This is different. Yes, I'm not itching as much as I used to. But why should I even see it as a win when it's not ending? It's just continuous. And I know that it drops to a point where, like today, I honestly thought today it was done. But this evening, when I sit down, the Karmics know how to fuck with my mind in that way. I sit here and they bring the strongest of their torments. As soon as I said I'm saying that, and they're doing it even more because of they know they can hear me, right? As I say this, they're trying again, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, so I guess this shit is still continuing. However, there's a loophole in your system where someone is able to tell me, oh, on Tuesday is the ending. Here I am sitting on Thursday. Was it Tuesday or Thursday? Wednesday is the ending. It's Thursday today. Why the fuck am I still going through this shit? Oh no, it was not done properly. Oh no, this person was lying. Oh no, this and this and that. I was like, okay. Alright. But is there going to be an excuse for everything? Every critical moment that is a critical moment of somewhere where I need to transition, or I need to move on, or I need to do something different, something happens that screws the whole plan. These people know exactly where to go. Every time when I need to move out of a space, they stand right there and they wait for it and they wait for it and then they do their thing. And this is your response. God's response or the universe's response is to be like, don't worry. You will get them in the future. This is gonna work out for you. And I'm like, I'm going to die, or not even die. It's not even about dying. I'm gonna find myself with children and all, and God is still going to be seeing the shit that was owed to me from when my childhood. He'll still be saying, don't worry, you're gonna get your energy back, what. That's how it looks. He's been doing that for a very long time. And this is why I'm saying, I see why when I see my future in front, I am not in my father's. I was asking myself, why do I feel like me and my father are not in a good space in that way? It's because he was trying to prove to me that I can trust him, and I kept saying I can't. And his way of explaining how that works kept getting even worse and worse and worse and worse. It's like he would try to prove something and I would see it as in like, you still trying that? You didn't even need to do that. You created the situation just so you can prove a point. This is what he does. He creates a situation just so he can prove a point. I don't have a problem with that. However, do not have me talk in a way that people must trust that this whole thing is not going to be, one, fabricated in some way, two, you're going to be, it's going to be done in that way, and then it's going to be covered in some sort of oh, it's for your own good, or oh, it's for your own karmic lesson, or whatever that is, right? Let's be honest. Let's let people know what to expect. That yes, you're doing this, you're existing, but like I always said, it doesn't really mean shit. I said it, and I still keep saying, I don't think Father will be able to ever prove to me that existence is such a big deal. I still feel like existence is hogwash. I feel like we could have just sat there, or he could have, not necessarily him not existing, but for me, if he hadn't created me, I wouldn't know what I'm missing. How would I know what I'm missing? I would have been in a state of, I don't care. I don't need to be here anyway. I would have been in that state, and I would have just been at bliss in a state of non-existence. But now I'm existing, and I'm like, what is this about? Yeah, it is about suffering. That's what has been proven to me. Because it's about suffering and moving the goalposts to happiness. And perhaps the people who said something about happiness is a state, you have to be happy where you are, because of it's a goal. It's not a goal. Happiness you can't make it a goal, right? And this is the thing with Father. He made it seem like my goal, my purpose, my mission is finding that happiness. And that's the thing. It's like, you're not ever going to find it at the end. It's not somewhere in the end. It's you being happy, whether or not God puts you in a crappy situation or not, is you finding that happiness within. And I try that. And as soon as I'm happy and I'm enjoying my life, even through the turmoil or the karmic shit that I'm going through, Father will come with some sort of a promise of a good future in the near future, right? And you get so excited. I mean, they had me planning things, right? And then they tell me, no, it's not going to happen because of change of plans. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, what's the point? I get why I would get depressed. I get why I would get depressed because I'm starting to see it as in like, there's really no point. And I used to laugh at what's his name again? Oh goodness, how can I forget him? I laughed at him when he said, you might just as well commit suicide, right? Because why there's no really meaning to this whole thing. I guess I didn't understand what he was saying, but I think he was looking at it from a different perspective as I am. But he ended up with the same conclusion as well, that there's no point. So he said, you might just as well kill yourself, right? Not kill yourself. He said, you might just as well kill, YouTube is going to flag this one. He was saying that you might just as well unalive yourself or something like that. I see why people talk about unaliving. Whatever. So boring. But I get it, because they don't want 18-year-olds to hear this kind of talk. And it's a good thing. I agree with that. I might just have to remember to put an age restriction to it. Maybe I should put age restriction to all of my stuff. I haven't been doing that. Anyway, but they don't have such strict rules. I was expecting them to have too many strict rules. They don't. It's just this type of concept of like suicide, and I think maybe murder. I don't remember. They mentioned 3 things or something like that, and I was like, oh, okay. I'll do an 18 kind of a thing when it comes to it. I never really knew exactly how to use that, so now I know. But that's what I'm saying. It's like the universe has to. Today when I read it and they explained to me why, I got it. It's not to say that I don't understand, and I don't. I understand why it's supposed to happen. This delay, what Father wants to happen, and he spoke to me about it. It's not that. It's that I'm afraid that I'm gonna wake up after I've went through this phase of this reunion or this family reunion. I'm going to get another shock of, oh yeah, but then there's also this as well. It's like he keeps adding, oh, there's this. And the whole thing of where you thought you would be working towards is not coming. it's not coming. And then he's going to say something like, oh, you were supposed to, it's your fault. You were supposed to finish this and you didn't finish it. And I'm like, with what energy? Because there's so much of things that I'm doing. And as much as I know that, sometimes I actually remember saying to myself, if it's my fault that I'm sitting here because of I'm not moving fast enough, right? At least this time it will be my fault. But every other time it has been the fault of others, either the Karmics or Father. So at least even if I'm being delayed, then they should wait for me. Then they're going to have to wait for me. If I decide that I'm sitting here and I'm taking my time and I'm changing this rule and I'm doing it my own way, that is, I'm tired. If I don't give myself a break, nobody's going to. None of them is going to give me a break. And even what they say, what Father says is a break, doesn't sound like a break. You can say you're going to get a break, you're going to get a nice life and whatnot, when you're talking about, oh, you're going to have to be pregnant as soon as possible because of their beings who's supposed to be coming through. And I'm like, wait a minute, how's that a break? How is that a break? How's that a time off? Explain to me, how is having children and a family after coming out of such a hecticness of this type of living for 5-6 years, how is that going to be a good deal for another 5 to 6 years when I'm raising children? It's never resting. And I look at it and I'm like, When I left my old job, I thought I was going to take some time off and rest. But it didn't happen. Maybe, to be honest, I'm going to be honest, the only time I felt like I was resting ever in my life was when COVID hit. Yeah. That year and a half of COVID was a boon for me. The only time I remember actually not being in high intense kind of working and moving, because I left a job which I was always busy, always doing everything for everybody else and stuff. And then I felt like this is stupid. Nobody wants to pick up their own shit, and I have to do work which is not mine, and I'm tired of that. And I thought I was going to do my own thing, and then COVID hit. It put a damper on that. And then after that, I went into this whole thing of awakening, and then I've been at it since. And now I leave awakening, I come here to kind of like, according to Father, finalize the torments and all of that. Fine, I do that, but in the meantime, something that was supposed to take about 6 months is going for it's already 7th month, and most probably looking like it's gonna go for 8 months. And it doesn't help because of the cards as well, the messages that they're using, because my intuition is delayed. That is, the information that I was drawing from inside comes slowly. Why? Because of I'm tired. So I'm in a tired mood. So Father said, because you're going to be tired, you're going to need your cards in order for you to use your cards to read your cards. Guess what happens to the cards? They buy someone on Father's side, on Father's realm, my own brother, to go and fuck up with that as well, right? Okay, so now he's sending me skewed messages. Now I have a new expectation, very confused now even more, because that's not what we talked about. This is not what we said. No, yeah, someone else was effing up with the messages. Okay, but then now, the thing is, again, the Karmics did their Karmic shit and influence not only the physical environment, but they're also influencing the heavens itself. That is the spiritual world itself. For someone who's in the spiritual world to do something like that. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, what is this? This is a joke. It's a fucking joke. It's like the devil is playing. He is having fun. And that's the difference between him and Father. Father's not enjoying this. The devil is enjoying it. Father's not enjoying this mission in a way of he's enjoying it. He's taking it too seriously, too much of winning. The devil doesn't care for winning. He cares about surviving the next one. And as he does that, he's like, hey, 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 hey. You know, I managed to run away from you again. That's the difference. Father's taking them so seriously that he doesn't want to make any misstep. Like, he's so serious about it that he doesn't want to make any misstep. But despite the fact that he's trying so hard not to have anything go wrong, it still goes wrong. And guess who's taking the rap for him? The rap for whatever goes wrong? Him. And he'll be like, no, but the Karmics did this and did that. And I used to take that. But now I'm saying no. I'm not going to take that kind of excuse of saying the Karmics did this, did that. You have the power. God has the power. It's your fault, Father. You need to make sure that these Karmics don't get away with shit so long. Whether it's in the spiritual environment or in the physical environment, that shit shouldn't be happening. That shit shouldn't be flying. I shouldn't have to sit here and kept being told delays, postponements. When I saw postponements, if I could, I would throw up, because I was like, it doesn't matter. It can't be a different word. Normally they use this kind of a page of swords. Delayed news, right? Today they used decision card, right? But in reverse. And I'm like, okay. It says delays and it says postponements. And I keep going to the word postponement. It's not a delay. We postponed it, like intentionally postponed because we wanted something else to happen. And I'm like, to me, it's still a delay. When you're sitting in the thick of things, it doesn't sound good when they say postponement or delay. To you, who's going through it, right? As much as they're working very hard on their side and they know what they're doing and they understand the implication, I don't see that. Remember that. I don't understand the implication. Why? Because I'm not mission planning like that. So what I see and what I experience is what I see and experience in my physical. And it doesn't look good, right? And it doesn't even help, because when I'm expecting to see something positive and I'm waiting for it, because I'm trying to also prove that these fucking cards are working, that this fucking card system of tarot is actually working. But so far, every shit that they told me there never happens the way these cards are saying. So what's the point? What's the point of this card system? What's the point of this messaging system if it's not going to work right? What is the point of this messaging system if it's going to be dependent on some individual not being so fucking karmic and trying shit like that, like I'm going to follow the devil? No, I'm saying this to you, brother. You should have known better. You should have known better. I'm upset, but at the same time, it's like, this type of thing must also be, it must go to where it belongs. It's your fault. It's your fault. You did this shit. You need to own up to it. Father is the buck stops with him. But you did this bullshit. And it doesn't matter. Adding things to the karmic and doing this thing always like this. And it's going to be bad. This is to be honest, the way I see it, I'm just saying, this mission is going to fail. I'm not trying to be skeptical or anything like that. If Father doesn't do something drastic and end this bullshit of delays, postponements, whatever you want to call it, and adding extra and extra and extra and extra, if this type of way of planning is going to happen with individuals, oh goodness, I remember I was going to have an issue with Father on this specific topic. There's a vision of me saying this to Father. If Father is going to communicate the same way or plan paths of billions of people in this way, It's not going to work. These people are not encouraged to try to do this path thing. And it doesn't work if... I think I fought with Father for this one. It doesn't work if Father, the universe, is going to use the same method. With one person like me, I get it, right? It's like maybe things are still being fine-tuned because perhaps this environment has been that low vibrational and the devil has such a hold on this environment, he's not willing to let it go, right? Which I get it as well. But what I'm saying is, I don't understand why Father keeps allowing it to happen. I don't understand why Father keeps allowing the Karmics to continue to postpone things, to continue to interfere. And why does he say things like they're not going to interfere with you again? Or they shouldn't be able to interfere with you again? Or, I don't know, something vague that he says and you believe that he said something and it means what it means. But then, fast forward, something else happens and you're like, but you said... And it's like, no, but I didn't say it that way. I said this and this. It's like, you were vague again. So now it's happening, but it doesn't matter. It still proves the theory of the devil having that control over this environment. And he's refusing to let it go. But then I'm asking, is it that the issue is the devil or the issue is Father himself? And this is where I'm saying, the buck stops with Father. The buck stops with God himself. It is an issue if they were the same type of creators. That is, the Uncle Devil was a creator just like Father being a creator. That they were in that equal standing. I could get that, right? But no, it's not. I'm going to do what needs to be done, right? And I'm going to wait and I'm going to see it for what it is. And I get the feeling I cannot trust it going forward. I cannot trust. Even if it does happen, let's say this is the last time when they postpone. I have already seen that even in the future, where they said these people shouldn't be there, shouldn't be coming up in your vicinity that way, they're still coming through. Right? In the future, when I leave this environment, these people are still managing to come through. So this is where I'm asking myself, like, why do you say those things? And it doesn't happen like that. Then there must be a reason or some way of explaining the issue in the system, explaining the issue in the universe, or explaining the issue with Father. This is what I'm trying to get to. What is it about the universe, about Father not putting his foot down and being like, enough? And what is it about him trying to get all of these things in place, or all of these things, I don't know what it is that he's trying to get, like recover everything, I guess, and he says it's for me. Yeah, and sometimes I see it for what it is, that, yeah, it could be for me. However, it doesn't serve me if this whole thing of, oh, no, don't worry, it's for your own good, it's only going to happen when I'm old with children. My children are even young men. They're probably having their own wives and getting married, getting their own wives and having children. It doesn't make sense that you will only be bringing me that kind of satisfaction in that. And it's like, why did I even say that? Why did I even think? Why was it even a topic? That's the question. Why is it even a topic? Why are we talking about it and telling people that, oh, it's going to be good for them, they should do it, it's going to work out, God is going to be there to guide them? And when I know that people are going to be like, Destiny, you said God is going to be there to guide me. So far, this guiding system, this guidingness of his is not working. He says this and then he does the other thing. He said that and then the Karmics do the other thing. I thought, God has a power like that. What is happening? What am I supposed to say to that? Because I'm the one who's talking a lot here, right? And I'm cussing people on top of that. Today, when I was going to cook, I was going to cook for, and I'm listening to one of my recordings that I did earlier this morning. And I'm trying not to cuss in there because I'm saying that I'm learning. I want to kind of like try to not be so, reduce my cussing, like do a recording without having too much of cussing in it, because I also feel like I am being low vibrational in that way, not because of I'm cussing, but I'm cussing from a low vibrational point. It's not the same thing. I can cuss from a high vibrational point of view where I am talking to someone in a way of encouraging them, but there is this cussing that I'm doing which is really feeling very, very low, because of I am cussing from a disappointed place, from a disappointed place where I'm disappointed with Father, the universe, what they are doing, right, and the ancestors. And this is where I'm like feeling that kind of hurt, and I would be cussing from a hurtful, doubtful, disappointed place. That's a low vibrational space. So I kept saying, I need to learn to try to see if I can do a recording or a lesson without having to go through dark, low vibrational. Just keep my high, even if it's dark, but keep the dark, high vibrational. And then I'm laughing and I'm like, one day I'm going to pay for all this cussing that I'm doing with these people. Like on this recording, because I'm listening to my own recording and I'm laughing, right? And I'm like, this shit that you're saying, when are you gonna pay for this shit, And I'm like, Father is, because the next thing that comes to mind is like, it doesn't even help, because Father keeps making you look like he's gonna make you look like an ass, because you were saying things and every time you are being proven the other way. Father's not really vindicating you in that way. It's like you're saying all these things and then you yourself are having a very different, weird experience with the very thing that you're trying to address in a positive way, and why people shouldn't see it in a negative way. But you yourself are going through that thing in a negative way. And when you find out why, it's like, oh, the Karmics did it again. And I'm like, now I'm thinking about it, it's like either I'm missing something, that perhaps I thought that Father would have that kind of control, that kind of power in this environment, that he would just do what needs to be done and it will be done. Maybe that's my incorrect perception. Maybe I didn't understand what they were saying. Or perhaps the same way I'm understanding Father, I should have applied to the same understanding to the devil, Uncle Devil, as in like, what's the difference? Why they keep like, how is it that the devil is able to pull Father in that way? Because to be honest, when you look at the output of all the steps in the mission, they are all from a karmic perspective. They are all driven from a karmic perspective. It's the karmics who are driving the outcome and the way this mission is going. As much as Father responds to whatever the karmics have done or changed, and he responds in a way as to say, oh, but I'm going to do it in a positive way that will work out for you, it's still not necessarily being done. It's is it a reactive? Yeah, it's a reactive kind of a mode. It's not taking the initiative themselves to make sure that things don't happen. It's like they're reacting every time to what the Karmics are doing. And the Karmics know that. And they're happy with that state. They understand that they don't care as long as they can get to survive, even if it's for the next coming 50 years. These people have told themselves that. Some of them you can see, like my great-grandmother at 88 years old. She knows that she cannot live that long, but she's still going to try to postpone her death or delay her death by siphoning from others. And guess what? The universe will still allow that. Will still allow that. And again, the other excuse that is made is that, oh, this is a 3D environment. This is what I'm getting. It's because of the 3D environment, Father's not able to effect change or do certain things in that way. Okay, I get that. But again, I still don't understand. I hear that, but I still don't understand why still, even though the universe cannot do certain things, that is, Father cannot do certain things or effect certain things in this environment in that way. What is the reason? Yes, the 3D vibration, but how? I cannot explain or understand. How is the 3D preventing Father taking action in a way where it's not reactive to what the Karmics are doing, but more proactive to... We should already know. This is where I'm coming from. I'm coming from the perspective of, at this stage, I've learned that the Karmics always wait towards the end of a phase and they try to change things right there. This is where they focus their energies to. Right? But then we already know that. We can see the pattern. So we're going to either go and apply ourselves in this pattern that is, we are anyway overreacting to them. So why not overreact to them by being proactive in that way? But that is by learning that this is what they do. Right? Maybe it's my program that needs to learn that the Karmics need do this towards the end of your phase. They change something so that you get stuck in that phase. What is it about us, about Father, about the universe not being able to go to that phase end and protecting that phase end as it needs to be protected? Right? And it's weird because it's like, you can't tell me that I'm the only one who sees this. There's no way. Father sees this. But I feel like Father sees it, but the importance or the impact of it is different on him. It's like he sees it fully because of he sees. I get the feeling that him being able to see further than us, than you or than me, who are going through the problems in this life, who are being put through the mill by the Karmics, right? Him having that view of being able to see our futures and where we're going in that way is becoming a disadvantage. Because on one end, we're asking, you knew about it, why didn't you solve for it before it happened? That's one. Two is that he sees further than that and he's like, because I didn't change it because I know it's going to be good for you in the future. Right? Now, the Karmics are using that kind of knowledge of him knowing the future to say, don't worry, they're going to it's going to work out for you in the future. They're using that futuristic way of his viewpoint where he comes back and he says, don't worry, it's going to be good for you in the future. They're using that. They go into that future and wait for that future and tries to make him look like an asshole, essentially. That is, try to make God himself look like he's a liar. That's what they're doing. And my question is, why does he allow it? I don't get it. Because here's the thing. This is what happens to my mission. Eventually, after a very long time, that has been happening, where everything has been shifted because of everything is working out for me. Everything that these people are doing is going to be a benefit to me in the future. What it has essentially done is the reverse, which is, I don't trust what the universe is going to say about something ending tomorrow or something ending in 6 months. It has created that, and with good reason, and I am right to believe that. It's correct. It's not that I'm wrong. I believe I'm correct in believing that. You know why? Because I must always expect that whenever I come to a conclusion or have to come to an end, something's going to happen to change that, because that's what the Karmics plan is. That is, they have learned that Father communicates in that way. And what they've done is, oh, he told her that this is going to work out. Let's go to that future. Make sure we wait there. When she comes there, we're going to change that. It works in 2 ways. 1, it makes Father look like a liar. 2, it has created in me a point of view which is different now, in a sense of, I'm now skeptical of what the universe is saying. And I trust more on the devil and his crew to keep to their methods. That is, they'll always find a way to F up the things that I need to reach. They'll always move that goalpost. This has been happening since at the farm. And I kept saying, these people, I feel like they're moving the goalpost. I feel like they're moving the goalpost. Guess what Father said? No, there will be a time where they cannot move the goalpost. Guess what happened in that time? When they cannot move the goalpost. Guess what happened in that time? They moved the goalpost. You guessed right. They still moved the goalpost. And guess what happened when I said to Father, right now, the Mercury retrograde is coming through. They fucked with time before with the Mercury retrograde. And I said, but Father, what if these people redo this again? What if they move again my timeline, me to be able to jump with the Mercury? What if they use the Mercury retrograde to change my path again? It's like, don't worry, this Mercury retrograde is going to teach them a lesson. They won't be able to do that again. They will never do it again. And that Mercury retrograde, I'm facing it, right? It's coming. I'm telling you, these Karmics have nothing to lose. It's different when somebody has something to lose. When you don't have anything to lose, guess what they're going to do? Guess what they're going to do. They haven't done it, but I can already tell. These mofos, even when they see people dropping dead, they will do it still. They're going to do it. The only way they're not going to be able to do it is if that kind of access has been taken from them. There's no other way for them to do it. Then yeah, I can believe that. But trust me, even if they cannot manipulate the Mercury retrograde in that way, they're going to try something. And this, I feel like, this whole thing of the reunion that they are planning. Because my uncle is telling me about, paying for me to go to a holiday and whatnot. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, you must be joking. You must be joking. And I'm looking at it in a very, how can I put it? Because I think I remember something like this. And I'm like, why don't I just go on a holiday? It's not like Father's going to give me a break anyway. The Karmics are going to give me a break. But then now, again, am I going to be in a holiday home where I'm being siphoned? I don't want that. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, this whole thing, they're going to stop something from happening. And they know what they're going to do. And then when they do that, they're going to come with this offer of let's take you to a holiday or something like that. And depending on whether I take it or not, right? Because there is something about me returning from a holiday, returning from travels or something like that. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, obviously they have their people set up there. They have all kinds of people set up there. And I get the feeling I'm going to get the feeling. I get the feeling that Father's going to be something like, you're going to go to the holiday. Again, Father is still using their gimmicks again. And I'm like, how long? I'm still moving with the Karmics. Because now I'm having a vision of something like that, of me being in some sort of a holiday. And in a place, a certain specific place that I always wanted to visit. And I feel like I'm going to be there. But it's not something that I want to do, that I had planned to do. I had planned to do something else. And that time has passed. And I'm learning now is because of, and we had a fight, me and Father, about it. I was like, he wanted to add extra thing, and I had to miss, and that meant that I'm going to miss a training session. At some stage, my father said something like, why do you even worry about it? You're using their resources. Just go ahead and enjoy it and all of that. And I was like, what do you mean? We had an issue because I remember saying to him, what is this? You said I should be out of this environment by this time. Why am I still doing this? Why am I still hanging around the Karmics? What is this? And I'm getting the feeling that something else is changing. And I'm asking myself, am I being driven by God himself? Or am I being driven by the devil? Because this feels pretty much like a very, 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 very thin line. And this is the point where I am not sure I do not have a firm, all the other times there was something that I could hold on to. There was something that I could hold on to in a sense of knowing this is my Father. But in this instance, I'm not even sure if I'm guided by my Father or it's some sort of something else pretending to be my Father. Because his response, this was very weird. It didn't feel like my father. Either he was under pressure, they changed something again. This is why I'm having this conversation now. Is because of I'm meditating on it because of they're gonna change something. They did something. This postponement. When I saw this reading today, I was like, no ways. They did something. They're going to delay again by another month. This is what I'm saying. This is what I keep saying. That they keep delaying and keep delaying and keep delaying. And I have to keep watching their fucking bullshit faces. I have to live through that. And Father feels like, oh, but then they did something. They delayed something. And they delayed something with the divine masculine. Because I read that card today, those cards today. 2 sets of them. When I saw it, I was like, why do I feel like I know this? Why do I feel like there was something like this? They delayed something that my divine masculine was supposed to get for me. He's supposed to come through. He can't come through because of there's an issue with something that he did, which was something that he was asked to do for me. The Karmics found a way to hold that up. And then it says to me today, he's held up because of that investment. He's waiting for it. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I remember something like this. And I'm being told this shit. What's the date today? I'm upset. I'm so fucking upset, right? It's the 18th of June. They delayed this shit. Somebody said something about the divine masculine is being delayed. He's sorting out some legal papers and something like that. He's held up. I remember this. This is what I keep saying. They will delay and delay. This is not a postponement. The reason why I got the card of 2 of Swords is because of I said to Father, I hate seeing this Page of Swords because he's becoming a swear word as well. Like seeing his face every time. I just get this. So they felt like they could say it in some other way and call it a postponement. And I'm like, bullshit. It's still a delay. Why? And then another set of cards says there's a reunion. So I'm going to be expected to sit through a reunion. And perhaps, because I said to Father, now these people are offering me to take me to a holiday. What is this? What's going on here? I thought that Father's like, so why don't you go for the holiday? And I was like, why should I go for a holiday? You said you're going to get me out of here by end of June. Why is it that I'm still here, still doing some sort of a back and forth with these Karmics? And it's like, what do you worry? Why do you worry? Just go and get an easy time. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, how am I going to go to the Karmics bullshit? This is the Karmics bullshit. And I have a problem with it. I feel very, very weird about this. Because when my uncle says to me, oh, you should tell me, we can go to a holiday. And they're talking about a holiday that I wanted to take. So they know that I wanted to take this holiday. And I didn't tell anybody, by the way. I was alone at the farm when I was making this decision. Hey, this place, it's nice, it's private. It's like a private beach and whatnot. And I'm like, not this shit again. Where is my real holiday? And there's another set of cards that say something about returning from travel. And there's going to be a conflict. And I had this mind as well. Before I even remember Father saying something like, why don't you just go? I don't trust the comics, first of all. I don't know. Maybe they want to make me disappear. Who knows where they're sending me off to? I get there and I find somebody waiting for me there. What then? And as much as there's another part of me that feels like this is by design as well, still, I don't trust the universe. This is the part where I'm saying to Father, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I don't trust the comics. I don't trust this shit. Because guess what? Once again, shit is delayed. Once again, the comics are doing edit again. You know what I mean? It's like, of course. They're going to delay shit and they're going to try to do something else extra like that. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, this reunion that is coming, I'm going to get bored, obviously. And they will do this reunion of theirs. They'll do. And I remember I was here at the house. There was a lot of people here. These people want me to leave so that they can do something to this environment as well. Add more shit. By the time I come back here, there'll be more shit here. I'm going to have to be very, very careful. I'm going to have to see things. But the way Father is doing things, I feel even worse. I thought I was going to see something better, but this is the stuff that makes me upset. This is the depression stuff. This is why I'm going to be depressed even if I go to this holiday. It's like I'm going to a holiday, but I'm going to be watching my back. How am I going on a holiday? How's that even a holiday? And at the same time, I'm like, maybe I should go to this holiday and allow the comics to do whatever they want. Because so far, they are the only ones who are doing something. I don't see how. And I know that Father will act like he might use this for something. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, knowing you might not get it. The comics might have seen you again. And perhaps I'm the one who's saying this. And they see it because of I said something. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I can't do something for one thing that is record for others. And when it comes to certain things, it's supposed to be hidden. How am I going to know? I've already said whatever I wanted to say. How am I going to know? The divine masculine is delayed again. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. I remember him having a vision of him being in some sort of a institution, a bank or something, trying to release something, and they gave him some excuse about something. When he looked at it, it shouldn't be so, and this person just kept going back and forth. He had been bought by the comics to delay this thing by a week or two or something like that, and something like. As much as they say this is a training for your intuition, that's what they're trying to say to me now. That this is how I'm going to be intuitive. I'm going to learn how to be more intuitive. Again, it's going to work out for you. And I'm like, okay. But what it's also going to do, it's going to create an adverse side effect towards me trusting Father. Because all I'm going to see is it's going to work out for you. It's the excuse. They used to say it's divine timing. They don't say that anymore. And I called it for what it is. And I was like, this divine timing rag, we need to burn it. Seriously. Because every time they delayed something, they kept saying divine timing, divine timing. And I said, no. Call it what it is. It's a delay. You had planned something else. This is why you said this is going to happen. But that same thing that you said is going to happen doesn't happen. And then some person on the YouTube tarot who's been sent says something like, oh, you know when it's divine timing? It's like bullshit. That's not divine timing. That's a delay. It's a delay because that's not what's communicated to me. And now they don't call it a delay, right? No, they don't call it a delay. They call it a postponement. They don't give me a page of swords. They give me a decision in reverse. And it has delays and postponements. Divine timing is not being said anymore. It's called... What did they call divine timing now? They're trying to come up with some... Oh, it's working out for you. Divine timing is called it's working out for you. I'm not trying to be hard on my father, but he has to understand that, again, the one thing that I'm learning as well, these divine masculine can never do anything right. They can't. How the heck does he get, how does he get into that? And when he receives it, right, they're going to, all of us, he's going to try to complain and call them head or something like that. That's when they're going to release the money. And then they're going to give some excuse and whatnot. But then when he sees it, he's going to see it for what it is. That he's going to see that, shit, he was being sidetracked and delayed on purpose. And Father tells me some other things. It's like, it's very weird, you know. It's like these messages are confusing, Father. On one end, you want me to go with the divine masculine that I didn't want to go with in the first place, where I said I wanted to be alone for a while. I wanted to do my own thing. And you said, no, you should be getting away so that you don't have to be around this mofo called my ex. That is your friend, your best friend. Who, this mofo is not really my ex, and I don't know why these fuckers keep calling him my ex. This person is not an ex. He's a old person that I dated when I was young. He's not my ex as in like last month's ex or yesterday, like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years back ex. No, he's like a 20-year-old ex. That's how far he is, right? That fucker is still having some sort of a weird obsession with money, and he has obsession with money where it comes to me as well. He thinks he can come through to me because of he has seen or knows about some money that is coming to me, and then he wants to attach himself into me like that. And I'm like, no, I'll kill him first before I have to try to be with him in some sort of a way. And now Father's giving them this opportunity to come and I get the feeling they're using this opportunity for themselves. That is my family. And they're also going to use this opportunity for him. They're going to try to present him as an option. And there's two things, okay, actually just one thing. Okay, maybe two things. I have two things that I can say to him, and one of them is spit in his face and slap him. The other one is to slap him. That's what I have, because that's disgusting that they even have this idea of who goes back to an ex after 20 something years. What the fuck? It's like Why? And Father says it's delayed, and I'm like, okay. What else is different? Nothing. Everything's delayed as always. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, it is abandonment. Father's answer for this was, why should you care? They're going to be using their own resources. You get to go on a holiday. And I'm like, I don't want to go on a holiday. That's not the holiday that I was looking forward to. I was looking for the holiday. It's like they changed my mind, right? Father wants me to change my perception, to look forward to something. When I said, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here. Then he makes me see things differently, which is okay, fine. I'll do that. I'll go where you want me to go. And then they're delayed. Again, like I say, the Karmics will use that. But he said, okay, this is what you need to do. They use that and they'll change the situation again. Then he has to change back to me and say, you're going to have to do something that they say you should do. You're going to have to stick it out because of the Karmics have changed something. And I'm like, I was just saying how they do things. And I'm realizing as I'm going through this meditation, what they did. When I remember the cards that I read this morning actually. And I'm thinking to myself, just now, I'm afraid just now I go to this holiday and I find this fool waiting for me. That is this fucker. This ex of mine. Yo. There's just so many things that can happen in this. And then I'm sure the universe is going to spend the whole week trying to convince me to go to the holiday. I bet you that's what's going to happen. And I think I remember saying to him, why don't I just stay? I'll wait. But then why don't I just stay? He didn't want me to wait. He was like, it's going to be good for you. Yeah. They just shot my stomach, right? You should hear what it's doing. But hey, yeah. My grandmother said something different, and now I'm seeing a different story. And I trusted in that, right? I trusted in my grandmother's communication. But now I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's not going to happen either. That's not going to happen. And she promised as well some other things as well, right? That hasn't happened. I'm not even in that mode of trying them anymore because I tried them. They didn't work because the Karmics again managed to stop them. And I'm like, okay. I'm still sitting here going through the tunnels, itching. They just attacked my solar plexus again. Oh, one more time. They just attacked my solar plexus right now, my stomach. It's like the 4th of July and they go. And I have to be like what? I have to stay here and do what? This shit, according to their tarot cards, supposed to be done by yesterday. And it was kind of like done. They found a way, obviously, something. And they're still doing something. But I'm like, why did you say Thursday or Wednesday? When it's not the truth now. I'm still itching. They're still attacking my solar plexus. What is this? And now I'm reading delays, postponements, and I'm like, postponement so that she can continue doing this. They can do they're gonna try something, I'm sure, during this whole thing of the reunion. Now I have to sit here and be like, what must I do with that? Because I know that they're gonna try to be in a certain way, say certain things. They're gonna come in where they have planned. I'm sure my uncle seemed to have went home on some weekend, and they must have discussed their angle when they come through. Father kept promising me things, right? That has never happened. So I'm probably going to go through this reunion and I'm going to see it for what it is. And they look at me when they're talking about it, and I'm like, I'm not part of it. I'm not going to even entertain it. And I get the feeling that is this sort of like a surprise thing. But it's not surprise because they're telling me that they are coming through. And if they even indicate it as if like they are doing it for me, ne? I feel like this reunion was supposed to be held elsewhere. They're not able to do it there because of, I feel like some people are kind of like distancing themselves, or who knows, maybe it's a cover-up for something even bigger. Who knows? They just did the car thing now, and it's painful again. But anyway, I'm tired of this mental tricks, this low vibrational mental tricks that I'm having to play with these people. And it's no longer about spirituality now. I remember Father saying it's going to help you to become even more intuitive. Yeah, we'll see. Well, we get intuitive, but what does that mean even? I am upset. I'm upset that Father, again. This is I still need to say, I can never forgive him for this. He does take it too far. He took it really, really, really far. It's not a good thing to go back on your word, and you don't do it like once, right? You do. To me, if I were to be honest, this whole mission, from what the plan was, the original plan was, to where we are now, is different. It's completely different from what Father had planned for me. And which makes me wonder, what about the other people? What about other people's plans? Have they also been tampered with in this way? Are they also going to be tampered with in this way? That is, they're going to be chopping and changing the plan as they go. I love my father and I want him to succeed with this mission, and I'll do my best and understand what's on his shoulders. But I think he needs to get to a point where I feel like he needs to get to a point where he accepts that he underestimated the devil. Both of them needs to get to that point. That he underestimated the devil, and he's not going to do that mistake again. Because the moment he understands that he underestimated him, and he'll start looking at the devil in a different light. And when he plans, he's going to plan and play this game going forward in a very, very different way than what the devil's expecting him to. Because guess what? The way the devil is operating this whole thing, he is operating from an understanding of what father or who father is. And he knows him. He knows where his buttons are, where he's weak. This is where I said, the devil, and I'll tell this again, the devil is very, very, very good at exposing inadequacies in the system. He's very, very good at exposing programs which are not proper. He's very good at exposing your insecurities, your fears, your egos. And this is what he's doing right now. He's exposing father's insecurities, father's egos, father's shortcomings, father's whatever. And as I was saying in another recording this morning, or I think it was midday show, you need to use that. See that for what it is and use that when the devil does that to you. And this is, I'm not saying that father doesn't know, right? But if father doesn't really see it the way I see it, it's fine. And if father already sees it the way I see it, it's also fine. But what I'm saying is that this is an opportunity for father to use this way of this program called the devil, the way he's exposing father, right, in order to make father look bad. But this is where father is supposed to take this opportunity, use that exposure to learn to be who he has to be as well. He has to. No other way. Because the man that Uncle Allman knows cannot exist after this. This is how he sees himself. Right? And this is what Uncle Allman is using. And Uncle Allman has successfully managed to change that perception in myself and in a lot of us on earth to see God in a different light. Now, either father uses that to also do his own kind of I don't know if it's an upgrade or what, but to also assess all those things that I've been saying. I don't understand why this is like tripping you when you get here to act. What is it that is having you not to do anything about it? What is it about you that is pushing you to keep pushing and pushing and pushing? His way of trying to make things perfect is essentially made it imperfect. I don't see it as perfect. I see it as, yeah, well, it could have been done better. And even if he was saying this is for safety and whatnot, I'm looking at it and I'm like, now I'm being sent elsewhere. Now I'm being sent elsewhere where he might not be able to find me again. I moved from the farm, I came to this house. As much as this one I know because I grew up here as well, right? Now they're sending me off to another place. How sure is he that he'll have some control over there? I don't even know, and I'm not sure if I went. I don't know if I went there, but I remember having a discussion with him, and it's like the masculine, the divine masculine is delayed or something like that. In the meantime, why don't you just go? It's not a big deal. And I was like, wait, why would I go with them? This is not something that I want to do with them. I want to go alone. I want to go on a holiday, not alone. This is why I said Father should have just given me an intuition to give me a card number and an account number and a PIN number. He told me which bank to go to and let me go there. That's how he should have done it and stop this bullshit. I'm getting that they could have still have had access to it. He thought about it, but then there was a danger that they will find a way to access that information. This is the future. I get the feeling I'm going to go through another Mercury retrograde shit. Father said that the cards keep saying, what? Tower. The tower. You know how many times they've been saying the tower? All of a sudden that tower today today's, I get the feeling the divine masculine was delayed today because it was actually is it the fourth Thursday? Yes, the divine masculine was supposed to come through today. He didn't make it, and I was like laughing. I was like, I knew it. I laughed today when I saw that. I was like, oh, it's Thursday. Where is he? He's never going to be anywhere to be found. I just knew it. And I laughed. I was like, this shit. Anyway, the divine masculine is not here as he was supposed to. So the cards were right. But the Karmics did something to change the ending. It's not ending. How did they change the ending? By also they changed the ending and delayed the divine masculine. Because their torments are still continuing. I'm still getting tormented, right? And the divine masculine is delayed. Fine. When they said he's gonna come apologetic and he feels so bad, and I was like, he must stay there. I said that. I was like, what's the point? He must stay there. I understand why he's delayed, but at this rate, I get the feeling he might not even make it again. Like, this is the thing. Excuses are not going to cut it with me. Whether they're coming from Father or the Divine Masculine. I am past the point of understanding. I hear you, yeah, you said it, don't say it again. Let's leave it. I'm at that point of, oh, yeah, whatever. What else is new? You're not telling me anything that is different. What else are the Karmics going to do in future? That we already know about, but for some reason, we're not going to see it until it's too late. And it's going to be like, now they want me to have children, and these Karmics have this kind of access where I'm going to have to live my life always watching and always worried about my children. And I know I am going to have to go and bring them forward, but I do feel like I cannot rest. This is what I'm saying. I'm going from one extreme to the other. That whole promise of, you're going to have a peaceful life and whatnot, that is thrown out of the window. There's no way I'm going to raise children in peace. No way, no fucking way I'm going to be able to do that. No way I'm going to be relaxed. No way I'm going to be trusting. Even of Father. Because what I've seen is it doesn't work here. I don't know how he thought it was going to work, but that plan of his that he had is not working here. It's not working. And I'm wondering if Yeshua also struggled with the same issues. Maybe this is where the miscommunication between Yeshua and him went to a point where he got, what do you call it? Crucified that way. Because of this miscommunication. Maybe Yeshua might have thought that this is the certain moment. And this is why he didn't call for Father's legions of angels, right? This is why he didn't call for that. Because of, he thought, no, this is not it yet. There's no need. Father's going to come through. And guess what they did? They delayed him by calling some sort of a fake meeting of trying. It's, Father, it can be that you haven't learned this method of the devil. It can be. I know that you are capable. This is where I'm saying, I don't understand what it is about you and Uncle Devil. Why does he keep being a step ahead? This is not what that girl said, where he said, the light is ahead of the darkness. I don't see that. This is an illusion that you have. And the light environment has that they are ahead of the darkness. And you can't say it to me any other way. You know why? Because the darkness keeps changing things. The proof is in the pudding. Not in some future that I don't know. And when I get there, the Karmics still change something. So you never prove yourself right. You haven't proved yourself right. And when you do, I do feel like it's going to be at a point where I have forgotten what was it that you were trying to prove to. It's going to be at a point where it's not even worth it. This shit is not worth it in the future, because in the future I'm not the same person. You can be like, you're going to be intuitive and whatnot, but then in the future, I don't need that intuition in that way because I'm not in the karmic environment like that. It doesn't make sense. Or it's going to work out for you in the future. It doesn't. It needs to work out for me now, not in the future. Why? What about now? That's what I'm trying to ask. It's like, what about now? When is it ever going to work for me now? And what future is that? Because the goalpost keeps moving and moving and moving and moving and moving. I'm going to be dead, moved on, away from this environment before I'm ever going to find my peace, one, my joy, two, my, what do you call it? My karma, my karmic debt that I'm being owed. That's what I feel, and I don't even know what that looks like, and I don't even care anymore. I don't even care anymore. I'm going to try to live my life and find my joy in every little thing that I can find joy in, and leave it at that. Because to feel like it's going to be a state where this whole thing is finished and I'm able to take a break, I already know now that that's never going to happen. And not because of I have a feeling about it, but I've seen you say something like, don't worry about it, you'll get your break. That you didn't even know when that would be. That it wasn't as important as you thought it should be, despite the fact that I kept saying, can I get a break? That, I mean, my voice sounds like I need a break. It sounds like this in the morning, during the day, even in the evening. I'm just tired. I'm just waiting for a collapse. I do feel like I'm gonna collapse someday. I feel fine, and this is why I say I feel like I'm gonna collapse. I think I feel fine. You know, it's that thing of you keep moving and you think just because of you're able to move, you're fine, or you're still handling it. But in the meantime, there's gonna be a point of collapse that you're not gonna see happening. And I said to myself, I'm not gonna collapse in here. I'm gonna collapse in this place where I am right now. Or I'm gonna collapse if I go on a holiday. I'm gonna collapse there. I'm going to collapse at a very awkward place where I'm going to be so vulnerable to whatever it is that is happening or whoever it is around me. Because if I collapse around these people, I can already tell you that they're going to take me and they're going to do all kinds of things to me. And if I collapse, if they send me to a holiday, I might just get, what's the word for it? Kidnapped, or I don't know, whatever it is that they're planning to do, because why would they come up with something like that all of a sudden? I'm not going to no fucking holiday. I'll wait for the divine masculine. I'm not going to a holiday. If the delay means the divine masculine is still coming through, then let it be so. If the delay means the divine masculine's changed, he's not coming through, then I don't know. There's just so many versions of your story, Father, that I'm so tired. I'm tired, and at some stage I feel like if I don't give myself a break, no one is going to give me a break. If I don't collapse, I will never get a break. And therefore, I kind of like am kind of in a way looking forward to me collapsing, because that's the only time I'll get a break. Because if I don't collapse, I'm never gonna get a break. If I don't give myself that break somehow, I'm never gonna get a break. And I cannot go on a holiday which I already feel like it's going to be bad. I don't trust this holiday. I don't trust this shit. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust anybody, and I'm not lying when I'm saying I don't trust anything. I've been proven many times that I cannot trust shit here. And I mean it as much as I love you, Father, but I don't trust that this is going to work out. I feel like even if it is you somehow trying something else, that shit is going to be seen and that shit is going to be changed. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, and Father says to me, you were the one who wanted to get out of there. It's an opportunity for you to get out of there. And I'm like, this is how. It's like he changes so much. They changed so much of it that it's still under their control in a way that I just had an idea, and I'm not going to say what that idea is. I just had an idea. But that's the thing. You're the one who wanted to get out of here. This is your chance to get out. And guess what? When I am supposed to come back, I'm probably going to come back here. I'm going to go and then I'm going to find myself in this holiday thinking, oh, something might just happen. And nothing's going to happen. And I'm going to find myself dragging my ass all the way back to come back here. I think I will walk away. I won't come back. This is what I'm saying. I'm getting another idea. That is if I don't go missing. That is if I don't go missing. If I don't go missing, I'll probably come back here. I must make sure that I have posted this recording so that if I ever go missing, people know that she did say she might go missing. I'm going to do that. And when the delay happened last week, and it's confirmed this week, and another delay again this week, I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should just do something drastic and leave and just find my way out there in the world. That's me. And at some stage I start thinking, this intuition thing is bullshit. If you're going to be intuitive, read it, and then it doesn't make sense in 2 days' time. It's like, oh no, we've changed it. It's not that way. It's something else. And I'm like, what's the point? What is the point of this intuition if it's not working? It's like, oh, yesterday it was supposed to be the ending. Nothing ended. I'm still going through shit. Oh, today the divine masculine was supposed to come through. And I said yesterday, I don't see him coming through. He's not here, and I'm getting intuition of, the cards were saying he's delayed because of his waiting for something. And I'm like, wow. Now that's intuition. That is me knowing intuitively or inside of me feeling like this shit ain't going to happen. That skepticism of mine is far much more powerful than the information that is stored within me. To be honest, it's proving to be the skepticism that I have with this whole thing, this whole plan up until this point and moving forward is far much more stronger. And I'm not lying. I'm not making it a joke. That whole skepticism of I don't see this happening. I don't see this working out this way. Is proven right time and time again. I get the feeling that the Karmics are going to be doing something. I know that they're going to do something. That shit has been proven right time and time and again. And what is it doing? It's disproving what the information that Father has been sent for me. The tarots, it's disproving the intuition that is stored within me. Because I'm looking at it, I'm like, what happens then? If I go to this place and I have to come back, where am I coming back to? This bullshit. Why would I want to do that when I'm out? Why would I want to come back here? And this is where my brain is working. I'm like, perhaps. But that's if I live through it. And even if I do get out, what's the plan? You know, I have to think about it. I really have to think about it. This could be my escape. If they offer it again, I'm gone. If they don't offer it again, yeah, I'll stick around until this so-called divine masculine comes through, or I'm able to kind of like walk out somehow. I'm being attacked in my stomach so badly. It's like it's so badly. It's like someone is punching me inside the stomach. It's like like such a... They hadn't done this in a long time. They haven't used this in a long time. Today, this past few days, my uncle is bringing food and meat, and he keeps saying, hey, eat this meat, eat this meat. And I'm like, no, I already have cooked something. It's like, no, but then this is going to go bad. I brought it for you and whatnot. And I'm like, what did you put in here? Right. And I said to myself, I'm going to watch, see what it is that happens after eating it. And now I'm realizing that my stomach, the attacks to my stomach had almost went down completely. But today, now, they are back. They are stronger. This is why I'm like, oh my goodness. And the attacks as well, the other siphoning and itching elsewhere in my body is much... It used to be like a faint sting. Ne? And after eating that food, again tonight, it's much stronger. So it tells me that something to do with what he brought, or me eating his food, like that. Listen to that. Again. And they're hitting me on the different side, the side that they don't normally hit me at. Something to do with that food is enabling this kind of... And my stomach is big again. My stomach is huge again. It's getting bloated again. Because of their sending signals to my stomach. It's curses to my stomach. So whatever it is that the food had, it had whatever it is that would make this sort of torment or curse get strong again. And why did that they think that they could do that again? This is why I say they just keep, every moon cycle, they keep asking for more and just more and more and more. And I keep being given, it's for your own good. Oh, it's divine timing. Oh, let's just be honest. The moment we're going to be honest with ourselves, with this mission, and see it for what it is, we're going to plan differently. We're going to look at this whole thing with the devil in a different light. That is, we're not going to see it as, oh yeah, let's just move this past this. Let's just move this past this. We have to be honest with ourselves, with the mission as well, to say, these people, I'm doing a stomach in now, and I'm burping. I don't know if I'm burping because of I did a stomach in or I'm being confirmed, but I think it's the stomach in. These people are showing are giving are handing what's the saying? They are showing us flames. Let's be honest. The Karmics are showing us flames. And we need a better plan going forward. I can't live the rest of my life like this. I get the feeling, even when I have moved past this and I moved on, I will look back, I will see the same type of patterns happening in the new life going forward. I'm not overly optimistic about the new life. I feel like it's going to be another struggle. I might not necessarily be in a space like this, maybe a little bit. They kept saying independent wealth and whatnot. Those type of things are not going to help shit if I'm still going through some sort of a torment, if I'm still going through some sort of, every time when I do this, the Karmics come in, they stop it. Because that's what they're going to do. They have proved time and time and again that they're capable of that kind. And to say, oh no, they're not, I am not going to do that. I'm eating my humble pie. And this is the result of the universe postponing and delaying these things over and over and over again, and allowing the Karmics to go over and over and over and over again. That it's now, like I said, it's now creating a situation where I don't trust the universe anymore. It's now creating a situation where I have learned a different way. That is, the Karmics are always going to be consistent. God is always going to sound like he's not telling the truth anymore, because he says one thing and something else happens. And when you ask him, it's like the Karmics did this, and I'm like, but you're the God. Why did you allow it to happen? And his answer is, don't worry about it. It's going to be good for you in the future. Don't worry about it. It's for your own good. And it's like, how long is it going to be for my own good? No one can tell me. You know why? Because we keep going round and round and round and round and round in circles in the same thing. And why? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I can't say I know why. It's as if like maybe they do want me to, like, because I know that I might have to collapse or something like that. Maybe that's what they want, in a sense of maybe I need to get to the point where I don't have energy at all. But then I keep saying, when is that going to happen? You know, because as much as I work hard, I'm even having bad ideas now. I'm thinking maybe I should just like do that, like just go harder in order to deplete this energy. Maybe when I don't have energy, they won't be able to, whenever they siphon, they won't have enough energy to siphon from. But you know what I did? I've tried this method before. When I didn't eat, when I couldn't eat as well, and I didn't eat, and I lost weight, I tried that method of not having enough energy physically. But these fuckers don't stop. They kept going. They kept siphoning from a... I was a skeleton. Almost a skeleton. They kept siphoning. They will keep siphoning until your last breath. That breath of yours is going to be like... And they'll be like, snatch. Gosh, this whole shit. I'm not impressed. I don't want to lie. It's like I'm going through mood swings. The morning I'm happy, the afternoon I'm not happy. Happy, not happy. Happy, not happy. And I'm recognizing it for what it is. that it could be that I'm entering perhaps the first stages of depression of some kind. I'm at the point where even if I just I was so excited to see this divine masculine. First, I wasn't excited. I said, no, I don't want this. I want to be on my own. No. Then they convinced me. I was like, okay, fine. Let's see. The divine masculine is coming on Thursday. When I did my week tarot. And then today, it's Thursday. They're like, delayed. And I'm like, fuck this. And I'm like, who's delayed? What is delayed? Some sort of an investment is delayed. And then on that card, divine masculine is there. And I'm like, damn it. No wonder I felt like he's not coming. And no wonder it's today. And I double checked because I took a photo of this week one. And it's true. And I'm like, it's not a coincidence that I'm getting this message today when the divine masculine is supposed to come through today. Meaning, it is what it is happening. And I'm getting another one that says reunion again. And I'm like, what the fuck? Y'all said reunion is postponed. Not postponed, cancelled. It was in reverse. And now it says reunion upright. And I was like, the first thing I saw was like, why is this card upright? This card shouldn't be upright. And then I continued and I read it for what it was, and I was like, shit. But then I didn't connect the two. That no, they are changing. They are doing this thing because they have changed. They have delayed the divine masculine. Right? And it's weird because today, I don't normally read cards for the day like that, where the information has to come through and it comes through for the day. And everything that happened today is the divine masculine was supposed to come. He didn't come. Why? He's delayed because of some investments or something like that. I saw it, and it was like very much of, interesting. On the day when something like this is supposed to happen, I get this message. Second to that, I see that there's a reunion on the cards. And I'm like, damn it, I thought this thing is not going to happen anymore. What is this? Right? And then I left it at that. This afternoon when my uncle comes, he's telling my grandmother that the family wants to come here and visit. And I'm like, damn it. It's that fucking reunion they were talking about. I guess it is what it is. And I'm still bothered with it because they said it's not happening. So now I'm sitting here and I'm thinking 2 and 2. And then he says something about, just before he leaves, he's like, yeah, and if you want to go on a holiday, you must tell me how I can get you, you can go to anywhere you want to go. And I'm looking at him and I was like, wait a minute. I thought this holiday traveling and whatnot that I was seeing, it was with myself. Why am I going on a holiday with him? Not that he wants to go with me on a holiday. He's saying he can pay for me for the holiday. But still, I can understand if the divine masculine said, oh, let's go on a holiday. Or here you go on a holiday. I can understand it. But why my uncle? And I'm like, but those guys were not talking about him. Why is he now the one who's proposing for me to go on a holiday? What the fuck is this? My meditation session now is bringing up the other intuition or the visions that I had about Father saying, you could go, why don't you go? On top of that, there's a Mercury retrograde that is coming through. I don't want to make such a decision with the Mercury retrograde on. So I will never go. If that shit is happening during the Mercury retrograde, I'd rather sit. I'm not traveling during the Mercury retrograde. And I think the Mercury retrograde says something like, no traveling. And I knew they were going to come back with that shit. I knew that the Mercury retrograde, when it comes through, they're going to plan something, to do something with the Mercury retrograde. I knew it. You see, they are backing. They are confirming that they are upset that I'm seeing it for what it is. I'm not going anywhere during the Mercury retrograde. If I'm going to plan a holiday, I'm going to plan it there after the Mercury retrograde in August. And to be honest, I'm not even trying to plan for a holiday. I'm not going on a holiday with these people. And if Father really wanted me to get out of this place, they would have done their best to make sure that what needed to happen. Why didn't he go and release these funds? For instance, the Divine Masculine. Why didn't he go and release these funds on time? Why did he have to wait last minute like this for something so critical? I'm looking at it right now and I'm thinking to myself, this is stupid. He knew he was going to have to do something like this. Why would he not release the money on time? I'm not signing any contracts, so it means I'm going to go through a Mercury retrograde, which I was begging Father, please don't make me go through this Mercury retrograde. I'm going to have to go through it, and I'm going to have to refuse all kinds of offers. This is why they delayed him. They wanted another month during the Mercury retrograde. And this is why this other guy, who is my ex, is going to try to force me into some sort of an agreement or contract during the Mercury retrograde. My uncle is also trying to do the same thing during the Mercury retrograde. And everybody else is going to come up towards me during the Mercury retrograde, trying to bind me in some sort of a contract during the Mercury retrograde. And what? I have to sit through this shit again, because this is exactly what happened during the last Mercury retrograde. I had to sit through and duck and dive these kind of offers. And now I'm understanding why I have 4 of Cups, where they kept saying, you'll be refusing offers, you'll be refusing offers. And I thought that would be like, it's a bad day, if it's a bad thing, why am I refusing offers? And it's like with Divine Masculines and stuff, you'll be refusing offers. But now I'm realizing I'm refusing offers from Karmics. And as I start talking about this, that you should hear how the dog is barking outside. They're upset because I'm figuring shit out. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, wow. I'm being put, it's like every time when I ask Father, can I please not be here for this, right? And it's confirmed that I'm not going to be here for this. No, you're going to leave before. But guess what? Guess what the Karmics managed to do? To get me into another Mercury retrograde so that they can trap me to do something again. I have to sit here for 20-something days or so, going through ducking and diving the Mercury retrograde with them. And there's going to be conflict. I get the feeling there's going to be conflict during the Mercury retrograde because they tried it last time and I refused a lot. I kept pushing back and I was like, this is tiring. And now they're getting me into another Mercury retrograde. They're going to come with all kinds of offers. Go on a holiday. Oh, do this, do that. And I'm going to have to refuse. Right? And why do I have to do this? Because, again, Father didn't answer his promise. He didn't deliver on his promises. It doesn't help as well that the Divine Masculine is also you don't know what I'm thinking. You don't want to know what I'm thinking in my head. When you're playing games with people like this, come on. You cannot keep doing this back and forth with them. You have to be smarter than them at some stage. Why didn't he ask for this money earlier? Why did he wait until the last minute to release the funds? I don't get it. This is the type of thing that you release even 2 months or 3 months before. Not even a month before. 2 months or 3 months before, because it is critical for you to be on time. And if it's that critical for you to be on time, you missing things like this. I'm in a Mercury retrograde. What would happen now if I go and sign in with someone else? You see what I mean? It's like, the shit is not funny. I could meet some other fellow out there and he's charming and whatever, and I forget that it's a Mercury retrograde and I say yes. Then he's fucked, essentially. And I had a vision of him being delayed again. But I thought it was for a different reason, a different vision, a different reason. Now, that reason is no longer there, right? However, they found another way of delaying him. And I remember this part as well. And I'm like, yeah. Everybody else is okay to get delayed, right? You are expected to behave on a higher standard, not think badly, not focus on the negative, try to be this way, work on your this and work on your that. And what about all of you guys that is going back to Father, Divine Masculine, the ancestors? What about you guys? Because it's okay for you to tell me not to think this way, not to think that negative, not to be low vibrational, not to be this way, not to be that. But at the same time, you guys are also just allowing yourself to get, I don't know what this is actually. I did say, someone did say August, September. And I was like, I can see August, September. And in August, I wanted to do something in June, July. I don't get a chance to do that because it's delayed. That the whole thing was supposed to help me to do something in June, July. It's delayed. Fine. And I pushed it. I even said to the people, no, it's fine. It's going to be in August. I'll do the August one. I get the feeling that shit is going to be delayed. Or they're going to say to me, no, you got to pack your shit. You're going somewhere. Or it's... I'm not going on a holiday. I refuse to go on a holiday. They say difficult decisions and whatnot. And guess who's making these decisions very difficult? Because I make them very easy. I see them for what they are and I'm like, okay, I'm choosing this. No, you can't choose that. Why not? No, you can't choose that. You have to go. No, I don't want to go. I'll stay here. I'll do this. I'll do even my studies here. No, you gotta go. You gotta go. This person is not right. He's going to be bothering you. I don't care for him. I don't have time for him. He's not gonna be a problem. No, you gotta go. You gotta go. But then the same Father, the same universe, still, when the Karmics delay me, it's okay now. You're gonna be here. It is what it is. I'm not going on a holiday. I'm not going on a holiday with this person. I will rather crash and die before I take their holiday. I'm not going on a holiday. Because the way I see it, it's two ways. I would rather walk out and go elsewhere and just go and live in the streets if I have to. I'm not going on a holiday. I'll wait for the Divine Masculine somewhere in the streets. And even so, I'm not waiting for him anymore. Because who knows? He's going to be delayed to even come back. He's going to be delayed to come here. It's going to be like, oh, he missed his flight. I'm going to be here in next year, June. with all kinds of delays in the bag. I could make so much money by selling the delays that father and his plan and his team are selling me. The things that they're collecting for me, these delays that they're collecting for me, I would be rich just by selling those delays. I'm not lying. If I have to check, I'm from 4 to 6 months. That was what this whole thing was supposed to take. It's 4 years now. And I think it's ending in August as 5 years. To be honest, I moved at the farm in July. July the 5th. Was it July the 5th? Yes, July the 5th. So it will be 5 years in July. Yeah, 5 years in July. I was actually counting it wrong and saying August. 5 years in 5 of July, it will be 5 years. Or 4 years. I have to calculate for 2022, 23, 24, 25, 26. 4 years. It's 4 years. Hence I said, the way things are going, they're going to wrap this up in 5 years. I must just try to be as, I don't know. I must just try to see. I don't know if it's reserving my energy or what, but there's no point in reserving my energy. At this point, I don't give a shit what happens to me. Because this is what I said to Father. I don't understand what is more important, the mission or being so perfect about this. I'm being told not to have this perfectionism in myself, not to worry about my recordings not being perfect and post them. I was being told that, and I didn't want to start that, right? I didn't even want to post them on YouTube for a very long time. Don't try to make things perfect, just do it. But then Father, for some reason, just wants to have this mission. I don't know if it's wanting to make it perfect or what it is. This is why I keep saying, I don't know what this is. I don't understand why he's doing this. I don't get why he keeps adding and adding and adding. And the only thing I can think of is that either he's incapable for some reason to stop this because of the environment the way it is, or he's just being a perfectionist. And I'm like, I'm not signing shit during Mercury retrograde. They can tell me whatever they want. I don't care. They can do whatever they want. I don't care. I'm not signing any contract with anybody, and I'm not going anywhere either. There's no traveling during the Mercury retrograde. This is why I'm not even sure if the person I was talking to was my father. I get the feeling it's not even my father, that person. It could be Uncle Omer, who was telling me go on a holiday. Because he wouldn't look at me either. I was walking up behind him. I was feeling like that. Now I'm remembering that I was feeling like that dream, something was off with my father. The devil likes to imitate my father. And there's some things that he does that tells me, this person is off. And this is why I'm thinking, it wasn't my father who was telling me to go on this holiday. They want me to disappear. And I'm not going anywhere. If they want me to disappear, they must tell me to leave. That's fine. I will disappear. I will leave. I'm not going on a holiday. I'm not going on a holiday with these people. I'll go on a holiday with my own money, my own way. Because the divine masculine seems to be incapable of doing shit as well. All he's doing is just getting delayed. I mean, what the fuck? I'm the woman here who's supposed to be delayed. But these men, I'm sorry, Father. I don't mean it in a worse way. I'm just saying, this divine masculine of yours, he could have released those funds a long time ago. this is almost something like this. This is very, if you look at it, it's kind of one of those situations where this man has an opportunity to meet with the counterpart. And just him being delayed could be the very reason where he loses out. And the counterpart goes and gets into, let's say I go on a holiday and I find some other man waiting there for me that has been told by the devil to kind of like, sweep me off my feet and whatnot. And I like him. And I'm like, you know what, instead of going back to where I was, this man is offering me something beautiful. Let me go with him. And I go with him. Here he comes with his delayed pants. He's trying to do what? I'm gone. I signed off with somebody else under the Mercury retrograde. I'm off. My life is continuing. They'll have to come and see what they can do there. The whole mission is done. Because I'm the only one who seems to think this mission is important. The rest of the team or father doesn't think this mission is that important. This is why they keep allowing shit to happen over and over and over and over again. I could be like on a holiday and I'll be like, this is so nice. And then I see some nice person, some nice man there, and he's like, hey. And I'm like, hi. And he's like, let's do this. And I'm like, of course. I don't have anything else to do. I don't really have anything else to do. And then I go off with him. He comes a month later after the Mercury retrograde. He's like, yeah, I am. I was managed to do this. And I'm like, find me if you can. I'm gone. The chances that these people are playing, and also my heart can change in that space of time, which is already doing that. It's already doing that because I'm looking at it and I'm like, until I see him, I'm not going to even bother. Because the memory that I had of me seeing him, right? I had a memory of me seeing him. It seems to be the one that has been, it's not that it's delayed. It's probably missed. I missed that. He missed that. It had something to do with him coming on time, this time. So if he missed that, it means the Karmics managed to change that future. Fine. I don't have any other memory. I don't remember anything else about him, me meeting him. I remember he was going to be delayed and I was going to meet other people. This is what I'm saying, that if you're going to be foolish in this kind of things, you're going to be foolish in this kind of things. You're going to look like that. It's going to be like, shame, sorry, first come, first serve, gone. That's how funny this shit is for me. I'm looking at this, it's like, imagine when they tell you those few weeks or those few days or that one-time opportunity that you had was just that one-time opportunity and you missed it because you didn't take this thing seriously. He didn't take this thing seriously. And I know what delayed him as well. He didn't go to the bank on time because he was delayed by this person, my uncle. He was busy signing another business contract. So this whole scene, I thought it had, I thought it passed. It seems as if it didn't pass. He got him, and there is a thing about someone being upset about a contract, a bad business deal. And I kept seeing that. The reverse of a King of Pentacles having a bad business something. And I was like, who's this? And I didn't see it once. So it's him. It makes sense. So this person made a bad deal and this is why he's delayed to come through. let's see what the universe has in store for me, because I'm going to have to read those cards and see. Because it seems as if like something might happen, but what? I don't know. All I know is that I'm not going on a holiday with these guys. And that person in my dream who didn't want to look at me is not father. That's what I'm understanding now. Yeah, you must go on your dream. You must go on a holiday. It's like, why? And think about it. It's the Mercury retrograde. Who travels under the Mercury retrograde? Not me. And this guy, this divine masculine, he's going to come delayed. And I think if this is what I'm thinking, when he comes through, I would have moved on. Yeah, I would have moved on. I think I'm going to move on. Oh my goodness. Now I'm upset with father again because I had changed my mind to go with him. And it was fine. And the cards were reading well. Now it looks like the very scenario that I was afraid of is coming to fruition. And that means that it's a different story. And if it's a different story, what story that is, I'm not so sure anymore. Because the story that I was busy preparing for, living for, I wasn't even there, living my life like that, is said to have been cancelled. And now these guys are doing this thing with this person, and I'm like, oh well, he's gonna come through late. And I wasn't going to have a chance with him. I just didn't feel like it was worth it. I had moved on. I think he's gonna get delayed like a lot. Like, this person made a deal, a bad business deal. On top of that, that delay that they made him do with the bad business deal, it also delayed him to see me. And this is where I said, fuck him, let him sit there. I don't have time for men like that. No, his business meant more to him. And it is what it is. He signed a deal. But I had a different vision that he was going to see it for what it was. But the time he comes through, it's going to be. And again, in that vision, my heart was, I was so disappointed. Now I see why. I didn't wait for him. I refused to wait for him. He's going to have an issue. I refused to wait for him. I was like, whatever. I don't want him anyway. I never did. I wanted to go on my own. And if Father's giving me that opportunity, again, I'm still upset with him for that. Because he can't make me feel like I need to be with this person and then turn back. I had prepared for something. And then I prepared, and then they said, no, you can't do that anymore. You're going to go with this person. And I was like, no, but I wanted to do this on my own. It's like, no, you can't. You have to go with this person. And I'm like, no. Eventually they convinced me that, okay, this is the person. It's like, okay, fine. Then they come back and they say this person is delayed. You have to, I don't know what they're going to say. And now I'm being proposed with some holidays. Fuck that. I'm not going on a fucking holiday. Why would I go on a holiday that he pays for? These people want to kidnap me, obviously. And now I'm going to ask the universe again. Your person is delayed. What now? Because all you're doing is letting me be in this environment. I can't even move out. I can't even sign a lease agreement. Because the Mercury retrograde is next week. I can't sign a lease agreement. Meaning I have to stay here. And I remember something about Oh my goodness, this is so bad. I remember something about father saying something like, you're going to start your studies while you're there. That is while I'm here. Right? And I was like, heck no. Why? He's like, don't worry. It's they are online, so you'll be able to do it. And I'm like, I can't do that. The problem with this environment is that it's not an environment to study in, especially if you're doing online. And it's in the evening, right? And it's 3 hours. And I need complete silence. It's online. I can't be looking after my grandmother and her needs while she's making noise or screaming, knowing very well that I'm busy, I'm studying, and she's gonna go and do that. I'm also not even sure if I'll be able to do the stuff that I need to do here. This shit is enough to make you go crazy. This back and forth is enough to make you, a person, go crazy. Not only that, the depression, I see how it comes. It's enough to make the person go depressed, go crazy, go depressed. I don't need this. I don't need this. And under this amount of stress that I'm in, I don't need this extra stress. I was thinking, do I even prepare myself? But I was like, something told me, no, dear. You know how this shit goes. Nobody's coming here for your ass. You're going to have to get yourself out of here. And that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. For me to be able to get myself and walk out of here. You know why? Because it can't be about another person. It hasn't been about another person up until this point. Why should it be at the end be about some other person? He actually did me a favor being delayed, because it was always going to be the issue of, what do you call it? The knight in shining armor coming to rescue the damsel in distress shit. When I have done all this work up until now, he's gonna come in one day and try to rescue me or something like that. I'm like, why? Why? No. But if I stay here and I do my thing, and perhaps maybe the cards that I'm seeing are not necessarily talking about anytime soon, then yeah, I'm good for it. Hey, let's do this. If I'm gonna go on holiday, I'm gonna go on holiday on my own. For my own, I'm gonna book myself. It will be my own idea. I had already wanted to go on a holiday. There's no way I'm going on a holiday with this person. Not with him, but there's no way I'm taking that offer of going on a holiday. I realize now that it wasn't father. When I remember this vision, I'm realizing he wouldn't look me in the eye and talk to me directly. He was always giving me his back, and I was wondering, why is father not looking at me? Why is he walking away from me while he's talking to me? And why is he, like I said, the devil cannot keep up the high vibration, because he was very low vibration. It was almost like dismissive. You're the one who wanted to go on or get out of there anyway. you should take the opportunity. And I'm like, that's not the plan. The plan I had is my plan. You know what? I'm actually so exhausted with this. I want to stop and do some card reading. But I must say, Father, I am very, very, very disappointed and messed up right now. I feel like you give me one small thing and you take a whole big chunk after that. I was so happy, but now I keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it's not cool. It's not cool. I knew that I was going to be here for the Mercury retrograde. I was like, I'll try to survive it the same way I survived the last one. I must just refuse anything that they offer me. I said that. But the universe is not helping by giving me my freedom in that way. Because I can't be trapped with the karmics and be trapped with the universe. Because of his using methods which are very susceptible to the devil's influence. That is the divine masculine. I'm laughing at him. He's there is the saying, I don't know if it's everywhere, but when they say momish of the year in soccer, missed opportunities are not a good thing. When you look back at them and see them for what they are, it's painful because it's like, shit. There's some things that you shouldn't be missing like that. And I thought, I was thinking things have changed. Because I remember fighting with Father saying, but you said this, and it's like, yeah, but then it's still the same way. And I'm like, and it's like, but then you said something. He said to me, I said something that made him realize that he wasn't looking at something when he kept forwarding things. He wasn't looking at the other things, like, because I was complaining about, I'm not missing only it's not just that, we changing, the karmics are changing. I said to Father, it's also the opportunities that I'm missing. Because now, what is happening with these opportunities that they keep making me miss? They don't come back. That opportunity is gone. And I thought I had passed that. I really thought that the divine masculine knew this is the past. I didn't think this is the option that I was going to go through. I thought the divine masculine will see things for what they are and will do the right thing and will be here on time. That's what I thought. But it seems as if no. It's still the same case. And when Father came back with, oh no, you're still going to go back to your original plan, I was like, no. You said, and it's like, no, this guy's going to be delayed. And I was like, wait a minute. Why? What is going on? And why should I have to go back there? He's like, no. Anyway, it's not about that. He says to me, no, the karmics can't do anything anyway. They can't really change. They cannot really affect you in that way. And I was like, but then they affected the divine masculine. He's like, no, he's delayed. And And I'm like, but then now what is happening? It's like, but I also feel like it's also an opportunity for you to go and do the things that you wanted to do anyway, because you made me think about something as well that I didn't really think about, which was the fact that every time when you move things, that you miss out on opportunities. It's not just about you leaving and moving to the next step. You also miss it that we are allowing the karmics to make you miss memories, making memories and all of that. And I was like, that's true, but it's fine. I have made up my mind. I can go with the person that is coming. I don't have a problem. I've changed my mind. He's like, yeah, but then he says to me, yeah, but then he's delayed. The comics are really, Father, I'm laughing at you. I am really laughing at you. If you see this for what it is, you'll see it for what it is. It's a joke. It's not funny though sometimes, but it's a joke. It's like, if we or you do not accept that Uncle Oman, when it comes to this trickery game, is that good, and that you didn't see that he's building you and making you look a certain way, not only in my eyes, but in the eyes of the whole world. But at the same time, he's also changing me in a way, using you to change my perception of whatever it is that is going on here. That's his trick. He has found a way to influence me by using you to say and do things in a way that instead of being upset with him, that is him and his karmic people and his karmicness, I'm going to be upset with you who made the promises to me. It's essentially, he is smart enough to say, I'm going to use him against his own daughter, and I'm going to use his own daughter against him. Yeah. I must give him that. He was smart. But what he doesn't understand is that he may be smart in that way, but I don't know, I'm sure you saw it, but at the same time I'm looking at it and I'm like, unfortunately, I still see it myself. Even though I've already developed that, but not necessarily, I think it is influenced by the devil, but in the same way, I have developed that because of, this is what I'm saying, I'm not going to blame him. This is something that I feel like it's with you. We cannot blame the devil every time. This is something that is with the God, the creator. And I'm going to call all of you up there as well, because you all could have seen this as well and helped him out. He's got too much on his plate, this person. And some of you can pull and take some of these things off him, please. But he cannot keep the same methods that he applied in any other places. It's okay to evolve the methods. I think actually it's actually best in this. I would much rather continue with the mission knowing that the mission has changed. Not as changed in a sense of we know where the end is, but we are using a different method of going forward. Because the devil has managed to find a way to use ourselves. Like I said, he uses us against ourselves and also uses us against others. That's what he did. The man is very good at that. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to give him a hand on this one. He played it well until now. But at the same time, I'm saying you cannot be open to this. Somewhere, somehow, we need to check ourselves and be better. That is the method of you working on a plan in that way. works to a degree. But if you look back at the whole plan, that plan changed. It's not your plan anymore. And we need to recognize that the plan that Father had is no longer his plan. It changed so much that this plan is now actually Uncle Oman's plan. And in that regard, Father has a choice to make to say, I got a new plan going forward. And I understand that he could have a plan in the sense of he has a copy of my destiny. But what he did was, as much as he had a copy of my destiny, he still used that copy to extend on that copy his own plan. And this is why I'm saying we're not running on Father's plan anymore. Because when he changed the timeline, when they changed the timeline, the Mercury retrograde thing, and reversed that, they essentially got themselves a chance to rewrite or write a new path for me. And we are running on his path. And we need to get out of that path. We can't keep doing this loop thing with him. Going back and forth, him delaying this person, him delaying that person. Because this is the thing. It can't keep doing this. We can't keep going this way. And I get the feeling he's still going to be able to do this even in the future. And if I remember, Father said something like, he can see that he will do this. This person, even if he doesn't have the plan, the new plan, even if Father does a new plan, the Anglo man is never going to. He's going to still use the same thing. That is even when I move here. Even if I moved here and I went somewhere else, he's still going to come after us. And I was happy just being and living in the way of, oh, whatever, they're going to come after us and whatever, right? But now, wow, I'm burping. Being given this sense of peace, temperance, saying peace, and all of a sudden it's been thrown at my face again, back at me as well, and saying, oh, well, you cannot get to that peace yet because someone is delayed. And I'm like, he might just as well stay there, because his delay, it might stay for a month, 2 months, 3 months. Imagine if he comes through delayed. There's already a gap of a month where the Mercury retrograde is not going to allow him to do anything. So why would he come through? Because I can't sign any contract with him. I can't make any deals with him. I cannot even travel with him. And I remember saying to you, Father, Father, why are you cutting it so close? The Mercury retrograde is just here and you want me to. And Father was like, yeah, you'll be able to. You must just make sure you leave before the Mercury retrograde. I was like, isn't this cutting it too close? And he's like, you have to. But now, where's the man? Delayed. Meaning, he can't get through that. Meaning, he cannot do anything during the Mercury retrograde either. He can't even release those funds in that time. If he knows his stuff, he won't be able to. So he's going to get caught out with the Mercury retrograde. That's a month. That's 2 months now. Because I was expecting him in June. And even though he didn't come up in June, then he's not going to be able to come in July. That is, after July, what happens then? I have changed my path. I've moved into a different life. Or I've stayed here doing bullshit. By the time he comes through, it doesn't make sense. He's late. It is what it is. Next time he'll learn not to. He'll prioritize accordingly. He'll have to prioritize properly next time because honestly speaking, imagine he's delayed and I go on a holiday. I make a mistake. I sign up and I go on a holiday during this Mercury retrograde. And I get there and I find some nice man there and he says, let's sign this contract, you and me, together like that. And I'm like, hey, and I'm off with this man. And then what is he going to do? Oh, he trusts in his pentacles too much. I think they said the King of Pentacles, he's trusting his pentacles or his cup too much. Yeah, sure. Fast. He's gonna get here and it will be finished. The time he decides to like, oh yeah, I'm here. It's like, dude. Who are you? It's like I was that guy. What guy? The guy I was supposed to be here. Oh, you managed. Yeah, but then what's the point? You were not necessary there. Now you were necessary then. The plan has changed. And this is why I'm saying I actually feel my heart changing as well. I wasn't impressed with it, and I'm still not impressed with Father for changing it again. After changing it before, he changed it again. And I'm like, I hope he doesn't come back. This guy comes through. And Father's like, let's change it back again. I think he did something like that. Or he was going to try to do something, and I refused. This man is going to be delayed for good. He's not going to be delayed a little bit. I remember he took a while to come back. It took like 3 months or something like that. And I was like, I had like already started my own life, my new life. I was doing my own thing. And I was really living my wonderful life. I remember that. And I remember thinking to myself, when his father's like, no, he's coming through. I was like, yeah. You can tell him to stay there. Father's like, no, he has to come through because there's something to give you. And I'm like, okay, fine. But then he comes through. He gives me something. And only then he realizes who I am. And he's like, damn it. And I'm like, okay, thank you very much for the delivery. Bye. It was the page of something. And he's like, no, man, this is not right. You and me, we were supposed to be together. And I'm like, okay, but I'm with other people. And he's like, no, it can't be. And I'm like, yeah, it can be. And I also had an intuition about something with him. That contract that he signed, I said to Father, I don't want to get involved with that shit. Father said, yeah, don't get involved. You must go and sort out that contract first. I think he took a wrong path. They made him take a wrong path. Either he forgot. I think he forgot this person. He wasn't supposed to do this thing that he's doing now. That contract that he signed, he wasn't supposed to. Ish. You see? He signed a demonic contract. There's something about but he's in the reverse, this guy. The King of Pentacles is in the reverse. And I was like, huh? What? Who's this person? I'm not even thinking about this person who's delayed. I'm not even thinking about the King of Cups. I'm not thinking it's him. I'm actually like, maybe it's in reverse, in the other way. And the cards keep saying no. It's right. This person did a deal. He had a bad business or something like that. And I was like, maybe it's the ex. I'm not thinking the person who's supposed to be coming through today. Now I'm realizing, oh shit, it is him. He really did do a number on himself. Your mm-mm. I think he comes through, but it's gonna be late. Something else is gonna keep him busy there. He's going to just keep being pulled back. He's gonna be so delayed by more, way more than the time. He's not gonna be delayed by a week or two or a month. Because the Mercury retrograde also made it difficult for him to do certain things. And eventually when he tries to do it again, something else stops him. But they will stop stopping him after I had moved on. They would have managed to do that. And then it would be like, the time has passed. He can't do anything anymore. And then they got him into a very weird contract. And that contract is going to essentially continue to screw him over. I'm just so tired of this shit. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for listening, Spirit. Even though I'm still upset with you.